What's up, everybody? Rob Gill, Epic. We are here in the hallowed halls in Red Bank, and today we're going to talk about what to invest in your 20s. You know, like I always talk about, I think it's important that you have models that have been there, done that, but they can't just be average. They got to be like through the roof, and they have to be able to measure and monitor and prove out their success. So today, one of my guests is Fernando Valencia. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Mr. Gill?
Me and Fernando share the same mentor, whose name is Sean Callaghan, who's been on the show before. And Fernando is a great example for me on him being my teacher in spaces that I couldn't get past a certain ceiling of complexity. And once Fernando came on the scene in the world of Unblinded and in the world of the Callaghan Results Formula first and understanding that formula, what was interesting is he was able to articulate it in ways that I couldn't do it, right? So Fernando is now not only a partner of ours, but he's also a client, and he is an ultimate achiever and an entrepreneur and understands what to invest in his 20s. Fernando, can you tell everybody about your journey and how we met each other in the last 2 years? Where have you been, which I think has been incredible, but really where you are right now?
Thank you, brother. And my story starts off, I started my entrepreneur career at 13. My family came here from Colombia in 1986. My parents taught me about love, empathy, leadership. The one thing they did not teach me about was financial literacy. And I had a beautiful home. My family came here from Colombia, and the one problem we would have at home was money. Money was like the problem, and there was like some fears at times of like divorce and uncertainty and feelings that a lot of people go through. My brothers had it worse than I did, and ultimately I knew one thing was not going to be my reality. I was not going to have a negative relationship with money. And through my entrepreneur career, building my first business at 18, my first $1 million company at 21, my first merger and acquisition at 23, my first exit at 23, I was able to realize that there was a lot I didn't know, and I was blessed to know some pretty cool things, and I was able to achieve a lot. And there's one thing I was never proud about, Rob. I was never proud that I was able to create so much, and I was never able to help other people create the same.
What was missing?
It was formula.
Okay.
I didn't have language.
Yep.
You saw that? That was a frame. Great job. And what was lacking was a formula. I knew I was doing something. I was working hard. I was energetic. I was meeting people. I was finding mentors. I was reading books. And I would tell people to do the same. And they weren't reaching the results. And truth is, brother, I was never proud of that. If anything, I had some shame, because there's nothing fun about being the only person on the boat. And through my travels of events, and my industry was in the event industry, I've done over 7,500. After my exit,
how many?
7,500. My teams have. I've personally done about 2,500.
That's incredible.
It's
Events
a lot of
meaning
people.
on stage with a microphone.
On stage with a microphone. I didn't even know what that was either.
On stage with a microphone. 2,500 times responsible for 7,500. Take that and rewind it back and follow very carefully.
I love this man when he drops some like super cool rap quotes. I feel like I bond more with you than Sean, because Sean talks to me about movies, and I know nothing about pop culture because I wasn't watching TV. I was trying to figure out how to be like Rob and know how to use my money. And then I met Sean in the world of the Tony Robbins ecosystem. I went to a business mastery, and something drew me to him. I've personally read over 300 books. I've consumed, like physically read, consumed over 1,000 through Audible. I've studied in the world of Landmark, Dale Carnegie, other modalities, communication, NLP. And when I met Sean, something was different.
Before you go any further about Sean, I just want to let everyone what I'm hearing you say right now. You were looking for progress. You were looking to learn. You were a hunter of human excellence, and you were looking to always persevere and take the next action step. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Thank you.
And because of that, you found
Sean Callaghan. And the reason why I was so attracted to Sean is that everything that I learned in communication, whether it was spin selling, whether it was like your favorite Robert Cialdini and influence, there was always like a tad undertone of manipulation. It was always present. And it wasn't an integrity-based human influence. It was rooted in integrity, loving all people with boundaries and integrity. And that resonated with me because I love people. Sean is the integrity-based human influence guy.
Yep.
I'm the rewrite humanity through peopleification guy. And the truth is,
so
it's the same thing.
So wait a second. So you want to rewrite humanity through peopleification, like we're in a sandbox. Explain to them exactly what that means.
So rewriting humanity means I want to change the way that human beings see themselves. I want to change the way that they see other people, and I want to fundamentally change the way human beings see themselves on the planet. And when that came to me through my why and my conversations with God, I was like, great, I'm going to do it. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. And sorry for clapping. This is an inside joke here in the video. And the truth is I found my way, and it was through peopleification. And that word came to me one day. Truth is, in the shower for being vulnerable. That's like my thinking time. And I still had no idea what that was because I didn't have language. Yep. And I realized It's through merging ecosystem. It's through our 10 by 10 model.
And what's interesting is Fernando, who is in the path of financial prosperity, the financial freedom, be able to come from an abundance mindset, is now utilizing strategically his money to get better use. So he knows how to put that into different spaces to help achieve his ultimate goal, his life goal, and that's peopleification, rewriting humanity, right?
Correct.
And the way we communicate with each other. There's a tool that during this COVID-19 that Sean and Fernando, through their innovation, and it's all about distinction, it's all about innovation, it's all about like, okay, we went here, how do we go here? How do we go here? Asking the right questions, which we talked about, from an abundance mindset, which creates a path and an outcome. Talk a little bit about what you guys have invented and unblinded during COVID-19, which maybe a lot of people kind of stayed still and they weren't in the mindset of progress when it comes to the real raw, the 10 by 10, and what's happening now, all within 60 days.
Well, brother, first of all, I have to give credit to Mr. Callaghy himself. He is an absolute lunatic, and I mean that with the utmost affection and love.
He's a long-legged Mac Daddy.
He's a long-legged Mac Daddy. I still don't know what that means, but it's funny.
A black boot, black shoe, wearing long-legged Mac Daddy.
He's all those things. And I remember getting a phone call from Sean and saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk every day at 7 in the morning. And we haven't missed. We've talked for about 80 days straight every single morning from 7 to 8 o'clock. We have a double innovation session now. And just side note, that's part of process mastery. It's vertical innovation. And in those vertical innovations, when the world was in like uncertainty, and people were trying to figure out how to generate what we would call like human equity, human capital, whatever language you want to use, we were like, how do we get more microphone and stages? How do we rise our identity? And how do we optimally use our zone action?
So some of these folks out here are alone right now, and you're talking about human capital, which I think is awesome, and human equity. Can you share what that means, even in their worlds right now, how they connect with other people in what you're talking about, merging ecosystems?
Yeah, it's really like, who are you speaking to? My question would be like, the frame would be, who are the people you need to speak to fund your life and dreams, and AKA your possible business? Like, for example, if you're a financial service provider, there's accountants, there's lawyers. If you're in functional medicine, there's like personal injury lawyers. There's people that do other types of dynamic in family law that all need each other. So who do we speak to? Who is around our sphere of influence that we can merge with? That becomes human capital. Some people know it as networking. Ecosystem merging is the graduation of that, and that's a different conversation for a different day. And it all brings me back to, why are we here? Why are we in this video? Is to another innovation within process mastery, which is modeling. And that's what we did when we built the Real Raw and the Real Raw Open, which, by the way, what is it? It's the greatest experiential hack in marketing, training, and events.
Say that one more time.
It is the greatest experiential hack in marketing, training, and events. And let's discuss it in real time with an example, which I love, with my man, Rob Gill. So Rob, yes or no, did you network in the past?
Horribly.
Yes, and something would tell me that a lot of you network, and that's great, I'm proud of you. Now let's talk about what network actually means. So Rob, when you networked and you met Sean somewhere, you tried to network with him. And I don't want to go through the whole story, watch that video, it's a funny video, they filmed it together, that'll give you more insight. How many times did you try and touch Sean Callaghy? Touch meaning text, phone call, Facebook like. Sure. How many touches did you have before Sean Callaghy was like, let me talk to this dude?
Well, before we had a real conversation, it was about 300 touches.
300 touches over the span of what time?
5.5, 6 months.
Let's lowball it to 5 months. That's a long time for one ecosystem merger. Well, now let's ask the question, was it worth it? Your meetings went from what to what?
We went from 8 to 150 new sales meetings a month.
In 300 touches over 7 months. That's what networking will get you. Ecosystem merging, on the contrary, equals Rob talking to Chris Crone.
Through Sean.
And through Sean being now one ecosystem, acknowledging, validating, being sourced to this relationship. How many touches did it take for you to have a meaningful conversation with Chris Crone?
2.
And
6 to create a partnership.
6 to create a partnership. It went from 307 months to 2 to a partnership. That is the distinction between your net effective use of time and what we created in our innovation sessions. As I mentioned, the greatest experiential hack in marketing, training, and events was our Real Raw. And what is our Real Raw? Rob would love this. So when you were in Bayonne, right?
Yep.
And somebody said, I'm a better basketball player than you, what would you say?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go play.
Let's
Whoever
go.
wins the one-on-one is the best.
Let's go.
And the problem is that we live in a world where like there's like brand and social media followers and like hoopla, smoke and mirrors, and everyone's saying, I'm the best lawyer, I'm the best this, I'm the best that. Great, so let's prove it. And that's what we did.
Yep.
We created a basketball court where we have every single day at 3 o'clock, we have legends from Les Brown, Brad Sugars, we have Chris Krohn himself, Dan Geltrude, the list goes on and on and on.
Joseph McClendon.
Joseph McClendon, every day displaying one thing, that influence is a superpower, it's present on the show, and we can teach you that. And what happens is that when this fine man here, Rob, brings a relationship that he's trying to meet with, aka merge with, versus networking, you bring them on the show, they're disrupted because we've had the best salespeople on the planet in 6 minutes have no idea what to do, and the minimum what happens is that Rob becomes more curious.
But some of them don't come back because their ego isn't in check. Go ahead.
That is touching the significance funny bone. That does happen. We don't have that here. Point of the story is this. If you're networking and you're going to events, here's my question, and I love you. Why are you doing it? Is it really effective? Do you ever ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I talking to these people? If any of these questions resonate with you, stop. Stop. Because it's not about meeting people, it's about merging ecosystems. It's not about networking, it's about the net effective use of your time. So here's my final question to you, Rob. Fine folk, and then I'll bring it back to you, Rob. Why would you touch someone 700 times over a span, 300 times over a span of 7 months, instead of going on one episode, disrupting their knowingness, having your heroic, unique identity risen, and having more people want to merge with you? If the answer is, I don't know why I would do anything else, we have a conversation to have. And that's only the beginning of our formula. And let's end with this. Model it. Rob is doing it. 8 to 125 plus. Model what we're doing. I'm here because I want to model this man. I trust this man with financial products. I trust this man with legacy and wealth. I trust this man to help me fulfill one of my legacy statements, which is to teach the Latin community about financial literacy. Why would I bother spending 2 decades learning when I can talk to Rob for 20 minutes and learn more?
So, quick question. If there's some people here that are really interested in what you're talking about, is there a way they can reach out to you?
Yeah, I would say unblindedhuddle.com is a beautiful access point, unblindedhuddle.com. And if you want to be on the Real Raw, shoot us an email, realraw@unblindedmastery.com.
Well, thank you so much, Fernando. Thank you for all that content. That was unbelievable. Thank you for sharing your story and all the beautiful things that you said. And for all you folks out there, we will be pushing content every single day. And if you're interested to see more, please subscribe below. If you have any questions that you want us to shoot a video on, please comment and we'll gladly shoot a video on one of your questions.